They never showed up. I crossed the stage alone, diploma clutched in my hand, the heat of the spotlight pressing against my skin. When I scanned the audience, there wasn't a single familiar face. No proud smiles, no clapping just for me, only polite applause from strangers. I already knew where my family was. Photos had surfaced online. My parents and siblings sprawled on beach towels, drinks raised in celebration. While I stood beneath the stage lights delivering a speech that drew a standing ovation, they were toasting the waves. When I stepped down, the dean placed an envelope in my hand. His voice dropped to a whisper. "This will change your life." He said it like he'd been waiting for this moment, like he already knew. That night, my phone buzzed until the battery died. 6 to 7 missed calls, all from home. I didn't answer once. Their absence didn't shock me, only the finality of it did. Growing up, I learned early that love in my family always had strings attached. I was the quiet one, the one who disappeared into the background. My accomplishments, perfect grades, awards, scholarships, never seemed to catch their attention. They were always too busy. My brother's outbursts, my sister's latest fling, my parents' constant appetite for drama. I stayed silent, watching, taking note of every time I was made invisible. So when I saw that picture of them laughing on the sand while I stood alone under blinding lights, it didn't break my heart. It clarified everything. Inside the dean's envelope was a letter from a foundation I'd never heard of, but they knew me better than my family ever did. They'd followed my work for years and awarded me a full fellowship, plus a grant that tripled what my parents could have ever afforded. It was my way out. Proof that I had never really needed them. But understanding without action is just resentment, and I wasn't resentful. I was patient. The signs of betrayal had always been there. Small slips at dinner. My dad half joking that he'd forget my graduation date. My mom sighing about how ceremonies stressed her out. I'd thought they were careless with their words. I was wrong. They never intended to come. They chose each other over me, again. So I made my own choice. The fellowship wasn't just money, it was power. With it, I left quietly. No announcements, no arguments. I packed my things while they were still stretched out in the sun. By the time they returned home, my room was stripped bare. I rerouted my bank accounts, changed my phone number, and left only one thread of communication, a single shared family email address used for emergencies. Then I waited. Their panic came faster than I expected. By the end of the week, my inbox overflowed with desperate subject lines. "We need to talk." "Why won't you answer?" "This isn't funny." I gave them silence. When my father finally wrote, "We need your help," I opened that one. Their beach trip had gone over budget. Bills piled up. My brother missed car payments. My sister's tuition was overdue. As always, they assumed I'd pick up the slack. This time, I replied carefully, "I'm afraid I can't. I have obligations now. Surely the family can manage without me." For the first time, I used their favorite excuse against them. Family was always their reason to leave me out. Now it became my shield. But vengeance isn't just about saying no, it's about truth. Weeks later, I invited them to a formal dinner hosted under my fellowship's name. An elegant venue. Glass walls, glittering chandeliers, guests in tailored suits, banners with my name etched on them. They arrived dressed like they were heading to a backyard barbecue, out of place before they even stepped inside. I greeted them with a smile sharp enough to draw blood and introduced them loudly. My parents, my brother, my sister, the ones who couldn't be bothered to show up when it mattered. The room hushed. Heads turned. Whispers spread like wildfire. My family's smiles faltered. Their hands shook as they held their glasses. They were drowning in the weight of everyone's judgment, and there was no escape. When the speeches ended and donors lined up to shake my hand, my mother cornered me. Her voice cracked as she whispered, "Why are you doing this to us?" I looked her in the eye and dropped the truth like a stone. "Because you did it to me first. On the day I needed you most, you chose the beach. Tonight, I chose honesty." Her face crumbled into silence. My father stared at the floor. My siblings stood frozen, caught in the wreckage. And I walked away, applause echoing, this time for me, not them. The calls haven't stopped since. They beg. They accuse. They try guilt, manipulation, even tears. But when their names flash across my screen, I feel nothing but calm. Because here's the truth. They taught me how to be invisible, and I learned how to turn that into a weapon. They created a world where I didn't exist, and I used that invisibility to slip free. My revenge wasn't fire or fury. It was erasure. I let them feel what it's like to be unseen. Now, when I look back on that stage, I don't see empty chairs anymore. I see myself standing alone under the lights. And I know it was always meant to be that way. Their absence wasn't a loss, it was a gift. I wrapped it in silence and handed it back with precision. So yes, on my graduation day my family chose the beach. But on the night I revealed my new life, the tide swallowed them whole. And I never looked back.